Welcome to One Book, One Coffee. Today we're diving into a timeless classic, The Prophet by Kahlil Gibran. The fact that you're here choosing this book over the endless scroll of social media or yet another binge-watch session speaks volumes about your desire for depth and meaning. You are setting yourself apart, investing in a journey of learning and growth. The Prophet is extraordinary for its profound wisdom and poetic insights into life, love, and the human condition. It's a book that has resonated with countless readers, including notable figures like John Lennon, who was deeply influenced by Gibran's works. Kahlil Gibran, a Lebanese-American poet, philosopher, and artist, penned this masterpiece during a time of personal exploration and struggle. His experiences as an immigrant and his yearning for connection and understanding greatly shaped this book. Now, a quick note before we dive in. This is a detailed, chapter-by-chapter walkthrough, so it's going to be a longer session. Take your time with it. There's no rush. If you need to step away, save this video to your watch later or forward the link to yourself on WhatsApp so you can pick up right where you left off. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's walk through this book together, chapter by chapter, idea by idea. Let's begin. Kahlil Gibran was a Lebanese-American poet, author, and philosopher whose life was marked by a search for identity and meaning. Born in Lebanon and later immigrating to the United States, he experienced cultural dislocation and personal hardships that fueled his introspective writing. His work often reflects themes of love, spirituality, and the human experience, aiming to bridge cultural divides and explore universal truths. Imagine a quiet town nestled by the sea, its people living simple lives, their days marked by the rhythmic embrace of the ocean. This is the setting where we meet Al-Mustafa, a man who has dwelled among the people of Orphalese for 12 long years, waiting for the right moment to return to his homeland. In this chapter, The Coming of the Ship, Kahlil Gibran paints a picture of longing, anticipation, and the inevitable passage of time. It's a scene that invites us to reflect on our own lives and the journeys we undertake. Al-Mustafa stands at the edge of the town, gazing out at the horizon, watching for the ship that will take him home. Isn't it fascinating how we all stand at the brink of something in our lives, waiting for that pivotal moment that marks a new beginning? Whether it's a career change, a move to a new city, or even a personal transformation, we all have our ships to watch for. Gibran's Al-Mustafa is not just a man, but a mirror reflecting the universal human experience of yearning for home, for belonging, and for closure. He embodies the wisdom of someone who has been both observer and participant in the life of Orphalese. Think about the times in your life when you've been on the brink of leaving one chapter to start another. Those moments are charged with a mix of emotions, aren't they? There's excitement, but also a tinge of sadness for what you're leaving behind. As Al-Mustafa waits for the ship, the people of Orphalese gather around him, reluctant to let him go. They've come to see him not just as a prophet, but as a friend and a guide. This reminds us of how certain individuals leave an indelible mark on our lives. Do you have someone like that in your life? Someone whose wisdom and presence have guided you through challenges. Al-Mustafa represents that mentor we all seek, the voice of clarity amidst the cacophony of life's demands. Gibran uses this scene to introduce the timeless theme of parting. Parting is such a bittersweet experience, isn't it? It's the beginning of an end and the end of a beginning. In today's fast-paced world, we often rush through goodbyes, but Al-Mustafa's story reminds us to savor these moments, to appreciate the connections we've made, even as we move on. It's a gentle reminder that even as we part, the memories and lessons remain with us, shaping who we are. What makes this chapter so compelling is Gibran's use of rich, poetic language. He describes Al-Mustafa's anticipation with such vivid imagery that you can almost feel the sea breeze and hear the waves lapping against the shore. It's a perfect analogy for the ebb and flow of life itself. Just as the tides rise and fall, so do our fortunes, our joys, and our sorrows. It suggests that life's changes are as natural and inevitable as the changing of the seasons. Al-Mustafa's departure is not just a physical journey but a spiritual one. It's a reminder that every ending is a new beginning, a chance to grow and evolve. As he prepares to leave, he reflects on the essence of his time in Orphalese, much like how one might reflect on their own life's journey. Have you ever paused to reflect on your own journey, where you've been, where you are now, and where you're headed? It's a powerful exercise, one that can bring clarity and peace. The people of Orphalese plead with Al-Mustafa to remain, to share more of his wisdom. Their reluctance to let him go speaks to the broader human fear of change. We often cling to the familiar because it feels safe, but Al-Mustafa's impending departure encourages us to embrace change as a necessary part of life's trajectory. After all, how can we grow if we remain stagnant? In the modern world, we are constantly encouraged to embrace change, yet it remains one of the hardest things to do. Whether it's moving away from home for the first time, switching jobs, or even just stepping out of our comfort zones, each change is a small departure from our own Orphalese. But as Gibran illustrates, with departure comes the potential for new wisdom and new beginnings. As we draw this reflection to a close, let's take a moment to think about our own ships, the opportunities and changes that await us on the horizon. What are we waiting for? What do we fear? And what holds us back from stepping onto that ship, whatever it may be? Al-Mustafa's story is a gentle nudge to be courageous, to step forward with faith in the journey ahead. In the end, the coming of the ship is not just about Al-Mustafa's physical voyage, but about the journey within. It's a chapter that encourages us to look outward and inward, to embrace both the sorrows of parting and the joys of new beginnings. As Al-Mustafa waits for his ship, he reminds us all to be patient and hopeful, for eventually the winds will change, and our ships will come in. Imagine sitting down with an old, wise friend, a steaming cup of coffee in hand as you delve into one of life's most profound mysteries, love. In The Prophet, Kahlil Gibran speaks to us about love in a way that is both timeless and personal, like an intimate whisper that resonates deeply within the soul. As we turn to the section on love, Gibran invites us to explore the nature and transformative power of love, a journey that is as challenging as it is beautiful. Gibran starts by painting love not as a gentle, easy path, but rather as a force that can uplift and break us in equal measure. He reminds us that love is like the wind, invisible yet powerful, capable of stirring the very core of our being. He suggests that to truly embrace love, we must be willing to be vulnerable, to open ourselves up to the possibility of both ecstasy and heartbreak. Now, think about this. How often do we shy away from love out of fear of getting hurt? But Gibran tells us that this vulnerability is where love's true power lies. As Gibran explores the nature of love, he uses the metaphor of a thrashing floor. Love, he says, will thresh you, separate the wheat from the chaff within your soul. It is a process that might seem harsh, but it is essential for growth and self-discovery. Picture this: a farmer meticulously separating the grain from its husk, a labor of love that ultimately yields a bountiful harvest. In the same way, love strips away our pretenses, leaving us raw yet pure, ready to embrace our most authentic selves. Consider our modern relationships. How often do we place expectations on love, hoping it will fulfill all our desires without asking us to change? Gibran challenges this notion, reminding us that love requires work, sacrifice, and a willingness to let go of control. It's like tending a garden. Without care and effort, the weeds of misunderstanding and resentment can quickly take over. This is a reminder that love is not just a feeling, but a commitment to continual growth and understanding. Gibran further explores love's paradoxical nature by describing its dual role as both a comfort and a challenge. He writes of love as a soothing balm that heals our wounds, yet also a force that scourges us, demanding that we confront our deepest fears and insecurities. This duality is not meant to discourage us, but to prepare us for the transformative power of love. It's akin to the way a diamond is formed. Only through immense pressure and heat can its true brilliance be revealed. In today's fast-paced world, where instant gratification often reigns supreme, Gibran's insights are more relevant than ever. Love, he suggests, is not about the fleeting thrill of romance or the convenience of companionship. Instead, it is about embracing the entire spectrum of human experience, from joy to sorrow, from peace to turmoil. Think about the times you've faced challenges in your relationships. How have those moments shaped you, strengthened you, and ultimately brought you closer to those you love? Gibran also speaks to the idea of surrender, urging us to let love lead the way. It's like handing over the reins to a trusted guide on a journey through uncharted territory. This doesn't mean losing oneself, but rather discovering new aspects of oneself through love's gentle, and sometimes not so gentle, guidance. In an era where autonomy and independence are highly valued, the idea of surrendering to love might seem counterintuitive. Yet it is precisely this act of letting go that allows us to truly connect with another person. Throughout this section, Gibran's words resonate with a wisdom that transcends time. He calls upon us to embrace love fully, to accept its challenges and rewards alike. Love, in its truest form, is not something we can control or predict. It is a living, breathing entity that shapes us just as we shape it. Imagine love as a river, ever-flowing and unpredictable, yet nourishing and life-giving to all it touches. As we sip the last of our coffee, warmed by the insights Gibran has shared, we are left with a profound understanding. Love is not an escape from life's trials, but a means to navigate them with grace and courage. It is both our greatest teacher and our most steadfast companion. In embracing love in all its forms, we open ourselves to the limitless possibilities of growth, joy, and connection. So, as you go about your day, carrying Gibran's wisdom in your heart, consider this. How can you invite love to transform you, to open your eyes to the beauty hidden in every moment? Are you ready to be both the student and the master in love's endless dance? Let love guide you, for in its embrace, we find not just another but ultimately ourselves. Imagine you're sitting in a cozy cafe with a steaming cup of coffee in hand, the world bustling by outside, but here, inside, there's a different pace. A chance to breathe, reflect, and connect with something deeper. Today, let's explore the beautiful, timeless wisdom of Kahlil Gibran's The Prophet, specifically the chapter on marriage. It's a piece that resonates through the ages, offering insights as fresh and relevant today as they were nearly a century ago. Now think about this. What does marriage mean to you? Is it a merging of two lives, or is it something more profound? Gibran paints a picture of marriage not as the union of two souls who lose themselves in each other, but as a dance of companionship and individual growth. He begins with a metaphor that frames marriage as the joining of two pillars that hold up the temple of love. These pillars, while standing together, do not lean on each other. They provide support yet maintain their own ground. This image is a powerful reminder that love is about unity, without losing individuality. Consider for a moment how often we hear about partners losing themselves in each other, sometimes to the point that they forget who they are. Gibran, however, suggests that true love and marriage are about maintaining your sense of self while nurturing the space where both can flourish. Think of it as a garden where two trees grow side by side. They may share the same soil, the same sun, but each tree grows in its own unique way, stretching its branches towards the sky. Isn't that a beautiful way to envision a relationship? Gibran also uses the analogy of a lute, with its strings that are tuned separately yet create harmony when played together. This imagery speaks volumes about how two individuals in a marriage can create something beautiful together while staying true to their own notes, their own identities. In today's world, where individuality is celebrated but sometimes misunderstood as separation from others, this concept feels particularly poignant. Let's bring this into a modern context. Imagine a couple, Emily and Jack, who have been married for a few years. They both have demanding jobs, personal passions, and a circle of friends they cherish. They make a conscious effort to grow as individuals and not just as a couple. Emily might take a painting class while Jack invests time in his interest in photography. They encourage each other, celebrate each other's achievements, and find joy in the shared and separate journeys. This balance of togetherness and individuality is what Gibran advocates, a partnership where each person is free to grow and evolve. Now, let's delve into the essence of being both together and apart in marriage. Gibran emphasizes that love should not be a binding force that chains partners together, but rather a force that liberates them. How often do we see relationships where one partner's growth or happiness is sacrificed for the other? Gibran's vision of marriage is a partnership where love liberates, not confines. It's about building a shared life while also encouraging each other to pursue personal dreams and ambitions. Picture this: you're watching a pair of dancers on a stage, moving in perfect harmony, each step finely tuned to the rhythm of the music. They are close, yet not so entangled that they lose their individual grace. Their eyes light up not just with the joy of dancing together, but also with the freedom of expressing themselves individually through the dance. This dance is marriage, a balance of closeness and personal space. Gibran also writes about the idea of love being like two hands that protect a flame, shielding it from the harsh winds of the world. It is a nurturing force, but not one that encloses the flame so tightly that it suffocates. Love, he suggests, should be about fostering growth and not limiting freedom. In a world where commitments are sometimes seen as constraints, this is a refreshing perspective that highlights love as a liberating force. To bring this closer to home, think of a friend or a couple you know who embody this type of harmonious balance in their relationship. They might have their arguments and differences, but at their core, they respect and delight in each other's individuality. They know that for their marriage to thrive, both need to be fulfilled as individuals. As we wrap up this conversation, consider what Gibran proposes: that marriage is a partnership of equals, a dance of two souls who support and uplift each other while growing in their unique ways. His words remind us that love is about celebrating both the togetherness and the individuality that each person brings to the relationship. So next time you think about marriage, remember Gibran's wisdom: love deeply, but allow space for each other to breathe, to grow, and to shine as the individuals you are. It's a timeless lesson that, like a good cup of coffee, warms the soul and enriches the spirit. Narration. Imagine, if you will, sitting down with a warm cup of coffee in hand, the steam rising gently as we dive into the soulful musings of Kahlil Gibran and his profound work, The Prophet. Today, we ponder a topic that touches the heart of every parent, and indeed every individual who has ever been a child, on children. This section is a rich tapestry of insight and wisdom, woven together by Gibran's poetic grace. So let's unwrap these layers together. /n Gibran begins by reminding us of a simple yet profound truth: children are not our own. Now think about this for a moment. In a world where parents often view their children as extensions of themselves, this idea challenges us. Children, Gibran says, are like arrows sent forth from the bow of our hearts. We may guide their flight, set them on a path, but ultimately their journey is theirs to navigate. It's a powerful metaphor, isn't it? Imagine a bowstring taut with potential energy, releasing that arrow into the sky. The arrow represents the child, soaring through life's vastness, driven by its own purpose and direction. /n and have you ever watched a child at play? There's a certain magic in it. Their imagination knows no bounds, and their creativity flows like a river after the spring thaw. Gibran's words remind us that our role as parents is not to mold them into our likeness, but rather to let them become who they are meant to be. It's like tending to a garden, where each plant has its own needs and potential. We provide the soil, the water, the sunlight, but we cannot dictate how high the flowers will grow or what the color of their blooms will be. /n and this brings us to the crux of Gibran's message. Our children come through us, but they are not from us. It's a humbling thought, isn't it? To acknowledge that as much as we love them, protect them, and hope for them, we are merely the keepers of the gate they pass through into this world. They belong to life with its own plans and dreams for them. In today's society, this idea can feel radical. We live in a time where success is often measured by parental achievements reflected in their offspring. But Gibran invites us to see another way. to see parenting not as a project with a defined outcome, but as a journey shared. /n/n consider the modern parallel of helicopter parenting, a term that has gained traction in recent years. Parents hover over their children, often with the best intentions, trying to shield them from every challenge or failure. Yet Gibran's wisdom suggests that in doing so, we may inadvertently clip their wings. How can they learn to soar if they never face the wind on their own? /n/n As we sip our coffee, let's reflect on this. How do we balance guidance with freedom? How do we encourage independence while offering support? Gibran likens parents to bows from which children, like living arrows, are sent forth. It is a delicate dance, one that requires trust in the unseen forces that guide us all. Just as an archer must trust in their aim, so too must we trust that our children will find their way, even if that path diverges from our own. /n/n Now, let's take a moment to think about the concept of letting go. It's something we all grapple with, isn't it? Whether it's the first day of school, the last day of high school, or watching them walk down the aisle. Letting go is an act of love, a testament to the faith we have in their abilities to navigate life. Gibran's words remind us that our love for our children should be like the sea, vast, deep, and unconditional, but never constricting. Our role is to prepare them for the tides they'll face, not to row the boat for them. /n/n Picture a kite, soaring high against the backdrop of a clear blue sky. The kite relies on the string held by someone on the ground to stay steady, but it dances with the wind, finding its own rhythm and heights. Our children are much like this kite, needing the stability of our love and guidance, but also the freedom to find their own path. /n/n As we draw to a close, let's revisit the image of the bow and the arrow. It's a metaphor that captures the essence of parenting as envisioned by Gibran. Our children are the arrows that carry our hopes and dreams, but their path is theirs to chart. In embracing this wisdom, we not only help them grow into their authenticity, but we also allow ourselves to evolve and expand in our own understanding of love and life. /n/n So, as you finish your coffee and we conclude our reflection on Gibran's poignant insights, remember this. Parenting, like life, is a journey filled with moments of profound beauty and learning. It's about releasing fear and embracing faith in what is yet to come. And perhaps in doing so, we find not only our children's freedom, but our own as well. Imagine sitting across from a wise old friend who, with a twinkle in their eye and a warmth in their voice, begins to share insights on the essence of giving. In The Prophet, Kahlil Gibran makes this conversation come alive as he explores the pure joy and profound wisdom found in the art of giving. Let's delve into this with a warm cup of coffee in hand, and let's see what timeless truths we can uncover. Gibran begins by challenging a common misconception. Giving is not just about the wealthy or those who have more than enough. He suggests that true giving is a deeper, more spiritual act that comes from the heart rather than the pocket. He speaks of people who give joyfully, as if giving is as natural as breathing. Now, think about this. When was the last time you gave something without expecting anything in return? Remember that feeling, that lightness and joy. Gibran beautifully paints this picture, suggesting that giving with genuine joy is an act that nourishes both the giver and the receiver. He takes us further by painting a vivid tapestry of imagery, describing how the ocean gives its waters back to the clouds, only for them to return as rain. It's a continuous cycle of generosity and reciprocity. This metaphor serves as a reminder that life itself is a cycle of giving and receiving, and each of us plays a part in this never-ending exchange. It's like how we might help a friend move into a new home, and months later, they might help us with our own project. The joy is in the shared experiences, the memories built together, and the understanding that giving creates connections. Gibran also tells us about those who give little of their abundance, but do so to gain recognition or praise. He hints at a deeper truth here. True giving transcends obligation or expectation. It's about offering a piece of oneself without the need for acknowledgement. Imagine a stranger paying for your coffee in a drive-through line without any chance of you returning the favor. It's a selfless act that, although simple, can brighten your entire day and restore your faith in humanity. And how about those who feel they have nothing to give? Gibran gently reminds us that everyone has something to offer. It could be a kind word, a listening ear, or a warm smile. These, too, are gifts that can deeply impact others. Picture a busy city street where someone, amidst the rush, stops to help a lost tourist find their way. It costs nothing but a moment of their time, yet it leaves a lasting impression of kindness and goodwill. The chapter also poses an important question. Do you give of your possessions or do you give of yourself? Here, Gibran nudges us to reflect on the quality of our giving. For example, volunteering at a local shelter not only provides tangible help, but also shares a part of your energy and compassion. It's about being fully present, offering not just what you have, but who you are. In today's fast-paced world, where digital transactions are quick and impersonal, the essence of Gibran's message becomes even more relevant. We are often encouraged to give back, but Gibran asks us to instead give forward, to embrace generosity as a constant flow, not just a response to a special occasion or holiday season. Imagine the impact if each act of kindness inspired another, creating a ripple effect of generosity that could change communities and even the world. As we transition back to our own lives, let's carry these reflections with us. The next time you're presented with an opportunity to give, big or small, try to do it with the joy and selflessness Gibran speaks of. Whether it's picking up a piece of litter in the park, spending time with an elderly neighbor, or donating to a cause you care about, do it with a full heart. These actions, however seemingly insignificant, contribute to the cycle of life's giving and receiving. Gibran closes this section with a gentle reminder that in giving we do not lose. Rather, we enrich our own spirit. Giving, he suggests, is a way to express gratitude for the abundance in our lives, no matter the form it takes. It's as if he's saying, let your gift be an extension of your own joy, and there's something profoundly beautiful about that. So, as we finish this conversation, take a moment to reflect. How will you carry this forward into your own life? How will you tap into the joy of giving selflessly? Perhaps start by recognizing the small opportunities each day presents. And remember, in the words of Gibran, giving is life's gift to you, as much as it is yours to others. Let's take a moment to savor the rich wisdom found in Kahlil Gibran's reflections on eating and drinking from the Prophet. Imagine this. We're sitting together at a quaint cafe, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee swirling around us as we delve into the heart of these timeless teachings. Gibran, with his usual eloquence, invites us to see eating and drinking not just as mere acts of survival, but as profound opportunities for connection and gratitude. Now think about this. How often do we rush through meals, barely tasting the food, more focused on our phones or the next task at hand? Gibran challenges us to bring mindfulness to the table. He suggests that every meal is a sacred ritual, a celebration of life itself. It's not just about the nutrients or the flavors. It's about acknowledging the journey that each morsel has taken to reach our plates. Have you ever paused to consider the farmer who toiled under the sun to grow your vegetables, or the countless hands that helped in bringing that piece of fruit to your local market? Gibran nudges us to be present as we eat, to chew with intention and appreciation. He paints a vivid image of breaking bread with others, reminding us that in sharing food, we are sharing life. There's a beautiful communal aspect to nourishment that we often overlook in our fast-paced world. Picture a family gathered around a dinner table, stories and laughter interwoven with the clinking of cutlery. It's in these moments that we build bonds and nourish not just our bodies but our souls. Let's draw a parallel to today's world. In an era where convenience often trumps quality, fast food has become the go-to option for many. But what if we reclaimed mealtime as a chance to slow down and truly connect? Consider hosting a potluck where friends bring dishes that reflect their heritage or personal stories. Through this simple act, We create a tapestry of cultures and experiences, weaving together a community that celebrates diversity and unity. Gibran also touches on the spiritual aspect of nourishment. He encourages us to eat with reverence, suggesting that every bite is a prayer. It's a humble acknowledgement of our dependence on the earth and its bounty. Now, you might wonder, how does this idea fit into our modern lives? Think of the growing trend of farm-to-table dining, where chefs and consumers alike are becoming more conscious of sourcing locally and sustainably. This movement mirrors Gibran's call to honor the earth, to recognize the interconnectedness of all living things. But it's not just about the food itself. Drinking, too, holds significance beyond quenching thirst. Gibran invites us to see drinking as a metaphor for absorbing life's experiences, both the sweet and the bitter. Imagine life as a vast, flowing river, offering us sips of joy and sorrow. How we choose to drink from this river shapes our perspective and resilience. In today's world, where challenges can often feel overwhelming, Gibran's words remind us to savor each moment, to find lessons and strength even in the difficult times. As we sit with these insights, think about the simple act of raising a toast. It's more than a gesture of celebration. It's an acknowledgement of shared journeys and aspirations. Whether it's toasting a friend's achievements or a personal milestone, these moments encourage us to reflect on gratitude and hope. Gibran's teachings on eating and drinking are a call to remember the sacredness in everyday actions. They urge us to cultivate a sense of gratitude and mindfulness, transforming ordinary routines into opportunities for reflection and connection. Just as a meal can nourish our bodies, these moments of intentionality can nourish our spirits. As we wrap up this conversation, let's carry Gibran's wisdom with us into our daily lives. The next time you sit down for a meal, take a moment to pause and express gratitude for the food and the company, whether it's a bustling family dinner or a quiet meal alone. Embrace the opportunity to be present, to taste and appreciate each bite and sip, and in doing so, honor the interconnected tapestry of life. So, my friend, as we finish our coffee and step back into the world, let's remember that every meal is a chance to engage with the divine, to celebrate the gifts of the earth, and to strengthen the bonds that connect us all. In a world that often rushes forward, may we find the grace to slow down and savor the simple yet profound joys of eating and drinking. As we sip our coffee today, let's journey into the heart of Kahlil Gibran's The Prophet, focusing on a section that delves into the profound and deeply personal realm of work. Now, imagine this. You're in a bustling marketplace of an ancient city, where Al-Mitra, the seeress, asks the wise prophet Al-Mustafa to speak of work. In this vivid setting, Al-Mustafa begins to unravel the tapestry of labor, painting it not as a mere necessity but as a sacred dance that weaves together the threads of life. Think about it. How often do we approach our daily tasks with the same reverence we would give to a beloved art form? For Gibran, work is much more than a way to earn a living. It's an expression of love, a vessel through which we can find identity and purpose. He likens work to love made visible, a beautiful metaphor that encourages us to see our labor as an extension of our spirit. Just as an artist pours heart and soul into a masterpiece, we are invited to infuse our daily grind with passion and dedication. Now consider your own job. Whether you're crafting a product, teaching a class, or managing a team, there's a piece of you embedded in those tasks. Picture a baker who needs dough with the same precision and care that a sculptor might carve marble. Isn't there something profoundly fulfilling about creating something tangible out of raw materials? Gibran suggests that, in these moments, we transcend the mundane. We transform our efforts into a form of worship, infusing every action with a sense of purpose and dignity. Gibran doesn't shy away from acknowledging the struggles of work, though. He speaks to the weights that often accompany our labor, the sense of toil that can sometimes overshadow joy. But here's the twist. He challenges us to embrace those burdens as part of the journey, like a mountain climber who finds strength in the climb itself, not just the view from the peak. Are our burdens not just the forge that tempers our resilience and shapes our character? In today's world, it's easy to lose sight of this perspective, especially when faced with demanding deadlines and ever-growing to-do lists. Yet, Gibran's insights remain timeless. Consider the concept of a calling, a term often used in modern career advice. It's the idea that work should not only fulfill us financially, but also resonate with our core values and passions. This is perfectly aligned with Gibran's vision, where work is an avenue for self-expression and personal growth. Let's bring this abstract idea into the tangible realm with a modern parallel. Picture a software developer who finds joy not just in writing code, but in solving real-world problems and improving lives through technology. Or imagine a teacher who sees each day in the classroom not as a job, but as an opportunity to inspire young minds and build the future. These examples embody Gibran's ideal: work as a conduit for both personal satisfaction and societal contribution. But what if the work we do feels disconnected from our passions? Gibran offers wisdom here, too, suggesting we find meaning in the act of doing itself. Like a gardener nurturing plants, even when the harvest seems distant, we can cultivate patience and perseverance, knowing that every small task contributes to a larger purpose. Let's not forget the metaphor of the ocean, with each drop of water playing its part in the vast sea. So too does each of our efforts contribute to the broader community. Al-Mustafa also speaks to the idea of working with the spirit rather than just for material gain. In a world increasingly driven by consumerism and the pursuit of wealth, this can be a refreshing reminder that genuine happiness often lies in the intangible rewards of effort and craftsmanship. Have you ever felt that satisfying glow after completing a project, not because of the paycheck, but because of the pride in a job well done? That's the essence of Gibran's message. Fulfillment is found not in what we get, but in what we become through the process of working. As we near the end of this exploration, imagine yourself returning to that ancient marketplace, now seeing it through the lens of Gibran's wisdom. The vibrant hustle and bustle are no longer just noise, but a symphony of human endeavor, each person contributing their unique melody to the collective harmony. This vision encourages us to embrace the dignity of work, regardless of its form, and to find joy in the creativity and fulfillment it can bring. So, as you sip that last bit of coffee and prepare to return to your own tasks, let us carry with us the gentle reminder from the prophet. That work, when done with love and purpose, is not just a means to an end but a vital part of our journey. It's an invitation to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary, to weave our passions into the fabric of our daily lives, and to find a deeper connection to ourselves and others through the simple, yet profound act of working. Imagine sitting across the table from a dear friend, a steaming cup of coffee in hand, as you delve into the intricacies of life's most profound emotions, joy and sorrow. What if I told you that these seemingly opposing forces are not as separate as we tend to believe? Kahlil Gibran, in his timeless work, The Prophet, has beautifully illustrated this duality of joy and sorrow, urging us to see them not as adversaries but as partners in the dance of life. Now think about this. Have you ever experienced a moment of pure joy only to feel a pang of sadness creeping in? Or conversely, found yourself in the depths of sorrow and suddenly a flicker of joy appears? This is no coincidence, and Gibran explains why. He suggests that joy and sorrow are two sides of the same coin, forever intertwined, each giving depth and meaning to the other. Without sorrow, joy could lose its brilliance, and without joy, sorrow might overwhelm us with its weight. Imagine your heart as a vessel, capable of holding both joy and sorrow. Gibran likens this vessel to a cup carved by our suffering. The deeper the sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. In modern terms, think of it as a balanced scale. The heavier the sorrow on one side, the greater the capacity for joy on the other. This is not to say that we should seek suffering, but rather, we should embrace it when it comes, understanding that it broadens our capacity to feel joy. Consider the story of a sculptor, chiseling away at a block of marble. Each strike of the hammer removes a piece of the stone, pain and loss visibly marking their progress. But with each chip, the form hidden within begins to emerge, revealing the beauty that was always there, waiting. This is how Gibran sees sorrow carving into our lives, painful, yes, but ultimately revealing the capacity for beauty and joy that resides within us all. And so, the next time you find yourself engulfed in sorrow, perhaps you can view it as the sculptor's tool, shaping and refining your soul. It's a profound realization, isn't it? This perspective encourages us to sit with our emotions, to understand them, rather than rushing to escape them. Just as a seasoned traveler knows that a journey comprises both smooth paths and rugged terrain, we too can appreciate the full spectrum of our emotional experiences. Let's bring this idea into a more contemporary setting. Think about how music can evoke a plethora of emotions within us. A sad song might bring tears to your eyes, yet there's an underlying beauty in the melody that offers comfort. Similarly, a joyful tune can lift your spirits, but often, the most uplifting songs have undertones of melancholy, a reminder of past struggles overcome. This duality in music mirrors the balance of joy and sorrow in our lives. Gibran also touches on the notion that we often try to escape sorrow by chasing after joy, as if they are destinations we can choose between. But he gently reminds us that joy and sorrow are part of the same journey. They are like the sun and the moon, each taking its turn to illuminate our path. When we try to avoid sorrow, we also shut ourselves off from the full experience of joy. Instead of running from sorrow, what if we embraced it as part of our growth? Let's apply this to a situation we all know too well: social media. Scroll through your feed and you'll see curated moments of happiness, a highlight reel of joy. It's easy to forget that behind these snapshots could be stories of struggle and sorrow not shown to the world. This curated presentation can create a skewed perception of reality, but Gibran's wisdom invites us to remember the unseen balance. True joy isn't just in the glossy picture-perfect moments, but also in the resilience born from overcoming sorrow. Finally, Gibran's insights encourage us to develop empathy and understanding towards others. When we realize that everyone is a vessel filled with their own joys and sorrows, we approach the world with greater kindness. Perhaps the person next to you is carrying a sorrow carved deep, about to overflow with newfound joy. Or maybe they are experiencing joy that once seemed impossible. This realization fosters a sense of connectedness, reminding us that we are all part of the same human experience. As we conclude our conversation, let's carry Gibran's message with us. Joy and sorrow are not enemies but companions. They guide us through life, asking us to embrace both with open hearts. In recognizing this balance, we allow ourselves to fully live, to truly feel, and to understand the beautiful complexity of the human condition. So next time you sip your coffee, ponder this. What stories of joy and sorrow does your vessel hold, and how have they shaped the person you are today? Jason. Narration. Imagine you're sitting with me at a cozy little cafe, a steaming cup of coffee in hand, and we're about to dive into one of the most beautiful parts of Kahlil Gibran's The Prophet, the section on houses. This isn't just about bricks and mortar, nor is it a set of blueprints for architecture. It's a reflection on what truly makes a house a home and its deeper spiritual significance. /n/n now, think about this. What does your home mean to you? Is it simply the place where you sleep and store your belongings, or is it something more profound? Gibran invites us to consider homes as entities that are alive with the spirit of those who inhabit them. He suggests that a house should not be a fortress to keep you away from the world, but rather a welcoming space that connects you with it. /n/n Gibran paints an image of houses not as mere shelters, but as extensions of our own bodies and souls. He writes that when we build our houses, we should think of them as the wintering places of our souls. This idea prompts us to consider how our physical spaces reflect our inner lives. Are our homes places of refuge and comfort that nurture our spirits? Much like a bird creating its nest, we should build our homes with care and attention to detail, ensuring they are places where we can truly thrive. /n/n in the modern context, You might think about how we often succumb to the pressures of creating a picture-perfect home that mirrors the latest trends. But Gibran challenges us to transcend these superficial concerns. Instead, he asks, what if we focused on filling our spaces with love, warmth, and authenticity? A home filled with laughter, shared meals, and meaningful conversations. Now that is a home that resonates with life. /n/n, let's take a moment to consider the story of a young couple I once knew who decided to renovate an old, dilapidated house. Their friends questioned the decision, wondering why they wouldn't choose a new, pristine place instead. But the couple saw potential in the old wooden beams, the creaky floors. They poured their love into every corner, breathing new life into the forgotten structure. The house became a gathering place for friends and family, filled with music, art, and joy. It wasn't perfect by any means, but it was vibrant and alive. /n/n Gibran's wisdom reminds us that a house is more than its physical attributes. It's the heart given to it by those who dwell within. He warns of the danger of letting our homes become places of isolation, saying, /let your house be not a tethered rope, pulling you back to the past. Instead, he encourages us to let our homes be places of freedom and growth. /n/n Consider the modern phenomenon of digital nomadism, where people choose to live and work in different parts of the world, often without a permanent home. This lifestyle might seem at odds with Gibran's ideas at first, but it actually aligns with his deeper message. These individuals carry their sense of home within them, defining it not by a specific location, but by their experiences and the connections they form along their journeys. /n/n As we sip our coffee and ponder these ideas, we might ask ourselves, how do our homes reflect who we are? Are they places that allow us to rest and rejuvenate, or do they imprison us with their demands for upkeep and perfection? Gibran nudges us to seek balance, to ensure that our homes nourish rather than deplete us. /n/n Now, picture this. Your home as a canvas, each room a new opportunity to express your story, to create a sanctuary that mirrors your dreams and aspirations. Can you see it? A home that evolves and grows with you, adapting to your changing needs and desires. /n/n As we wrap up our conversation, it's clear that Gibran's reflections on houses extend far beyond the physical structures we inhabit. They're an invitation to reflect on how we engage with the spaces around us, encouraging us to infuse them with love and meaning. /n/n So next time you walk through your front door, take a moment to pause and consider the space you've created. Is it a reflection of your true self, a place where your soul can winter? Gibran's words serve as a gentle reminder that our homes, like our lives, are what we make of them. Let's fill them with light, laughter, and love. Freedom. It's a concept that invites both yearning and confusion, doesn't it? As we sip our coffee together and dive into Kahlil Gibran's The Prophet, let's unravel the profound tapestry of thoughts he weaves in his reflection on freedom. Freedom, as Gibran eloquently puts it, is not just the ability to do what we want or to escape the constraints imposed by others. It's much deeper, almost an intimate dance with love itself. Imagine for a moment the vastness of the sky. It stretches endlessly without boundaries. Yet it is not entirely free, is it? The sky is bound by the laws of nature, tethered to the Earth's pull, harmoniously participating in the majestic ballet of the universe. In a similar way, Gibran invites us to contemplate that true freedom is not the absence of restraint, but the presence of love that transforms our bonds into a beautiful melody. Now think about this. When was the last time you felt genuinely free? Was it when you were alone, no obligations, no deadlines, just you and your thoughts? Or perhaps it was a moment shared with loved ones, where the world outside seemed to fade away, leaving only laughter and connection. This is where Gibran guides us, towards understanding that the essence of freedom is intricately linked to love and meaningful connections. Gibran suggests that freedom is like a bridge. On one side we have the longing to break free from external chains, Societal expectations, material entanglements, the incessant buzz of modern life. On the other, there is a deeper yearning, the heart's silent cry for fulfillment, for love. Freedom, therefore, becomes the act of crossing this bridge, not in defiance of our bonds, but in acknowledgement of them, transforming them into expressions of love. Take, for instance, the story of a bird in a cage. We might pity the bird for its lack of freedom, its inability to soar freely in the vast sky. But what if the bird finds joy in its song, a song that fills the room with beauty, a song sung not out of sorrow, but with a heart full of love for the world it knows? Gibran's wisdom nudges us to see that sometimes freedom is found not in leaving our cages, but in embracing them with love and transforming them into spaces of joy and fulfillment. Isn't it fascinating how these ancient ideas echo through today's world? Think about your smartphone, a tool of immense freedom, connecting us, enlightening us, entertaining us. Yet isn't it also a source of our enslavement, constantly demanding our attention, drowning us in notifications? Here, Gibran's insight becomes profoundly relevant. The key is not to discard these tools, but to use them mindfully, with love and intention, thus transforming our interaction with technology into an expression of true freedom. Gibran also touches on the fear that often accompanies the pursuit of freedom. It's the fear of the unknown, the anxiety of stepping out of our comfort zones. But he reassures us, suggesting that love is the guiding light that dispels this darkness. When we act from a place of love, love for ourselves, for others, for life itself, we find the courage to venture into the unknown, to claim our freedom not as an escape, but as an embrace. Consider the metaphor of a river flowing to the sea. The river's journey is fraught with obstacles, rocks, twists, turns. Yet it flows onward with purpose, driven by an intrinsic love for the vast ocean that awaits. In the same way, our journey toward freedom is not without challenges, but with love as our compass, we navigate these waters with grace and determination. As we reflect on Gibran's insights, let's bring them into the realm of our everyday lives. How often do we find ourselves trapped in routines, longing for freedom from the mundane? What if we approached these routines with love, transforming them into rituals of gratitude and joy? Whether it's the morning commute, the daily grind, or the evening chores, each moment holds the potential for freedom when infused with love and purpose. Now let's circle back to our initial question. When did you last feel free? Was it amid the chaos, or in the quiet moments of connection? Remember, Gibran reminds us that freedom is not about breaking free from the ties that hold us, but transforming them through the power of love. It's about finding peace in the knowledge that true freedom is an inward journey, one that transcends the physical and delves into the spiritual. As we finish our coffee and this reflection on Gibran's wisdom, let us carry forward the notion that freedom, in its truest form, is a celebration of love. It is a harmonious balance, a union of the heart's desires with the world's demands. Embrace your bonds, infuse them with love, and in doing so, discover the boundless freedom that lies within. Jason. Narration. As we settle in with our cups of coffee, let's dive into the deep waters of Kahlil Gibran's insights in The Prophet, particularly his thoughts on pain. Imagine sitting with a wise friend who gently reminds you that pain, often seen as a dreaded adversary, is actually a profound teacher. You might be thinking, how can pain, which feels so unbearable, ever be beneficial? Well, Gibran invites us to see pain not as a punitive force but as a path to understanding and personal growth. /n/n picture this. Life is a sculptor, and you are its marble. Each experience, joyful or painful, is a chisel strike. It's through this process that your true form emerges. Pain, then, is not merely suffering but a vital part of creation. Gibran suggests that just as the earth needs to be broken to yield its fruits, so too do our hearts need to experience pain to unlock a deeper capacity for joy and understanding. /n/n now. Think about this for a moment. How often do we shy away from pain, treating it like a storm we need to weather? Instead, what if we approached it like a mentor whose lessons could lead us to greater clarity? Consider a personal anecdote from a friend who went through a tough breakup. Initially, it felt like an insurmountable loss. Yet in time, they realized that through their heartbreak, they learned resilience, empathy, and discovered what truly matters to them in relationships. The pain was transformative, leading to personal growth and a stronger, more self-aware individual. N Gibran beautifully illustrates this concept by comparing pain to a bitter potion brewed by the hand of an unseen healer. The cup from which you drink this potion may seem harsh, yet it is necessary for healing. This metaphor encourages us to trust in the process, acknowledging that while the taste may be bitter, the results are often sweet. Imagine the bitter medicine that cures an illness, how it purges toxins and restores health. In the same way, pain can cleanse our spirit, purging illusions and falsehoods that hinder our personal evolution. N. Let's take a step back and look at a modern parallel. In today's fast-paced world, professional setbacks can feel like profound personal failures. You're passed over for a promotion, or perhaps you're let go from a job you loved. In the moment it stings, your ego bruised, your future uncertain. Yet many find that these painful experiences push them to reevaluate their paths, leading to new opportunities and greater fulfillment. It's as if life is saying, this isn't the end but a necessary step towards your true calling. N. Gibran's message is timeless. He urges us to embrace our pain, to let it guide us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Pain in this light becomes a catalyst for growth rather than an obstacle. Think of it like the refining fire that purifies gold, removing impurities and leaving behind something more precious. Each experience of pain, though difficult, is refining us, shaping us to shine brighter and live more authentically. N. In the realm of personal relationships, Gibran's insights are equally profound. Consider how conflicts with loved ones often lead to the most significant growth. It's through the pain of misunderstanding and arguments that we learn patience, forgiveness, and compassion. These lessons deepen our connections, teaching us to love more truly. Now, let's ponder on another rhetorical question. How might our lives change if we welcomed pain as a partner in our journey, rather than resisting it? This doesn't mean seeking out pain or valuing it for its own sake, but acknowledging its role in our personal development. Just like a seed must crack open to sprout, we too must sometimes break open to grow. N. In conclusion, Gibran's wisdom invites us to reconsider our relationship with pain. Instead of viewing it as merely an affliction, we are encouraged to see it as an integral part of life's journey. By embracing pain, we unlock the door to deeper self-awareness and resilience. Our lives, much like a rich tapestry, are woven with threads of pain and joy, each contributing to the beauty of the whole. So, next time you find yourself in the midst of a painful experience, remember this conversation over coffee and consider what lessons are being offered to you in that moment. N. As you take a final sip of your coffee, reflect on how you might embrace your own journey with pain, allowing it to carve out space within you for greater wisdom and love. Remember, it is through the depths of our struggles that we soar to our greatest heights. As Gibran so poetically suggests, let us welcome pain's guidance and trust in its transformative power to lead us toward our destinies. Narration. All right, let's settle in with our steaming cups of coffee and dive into the timeless wisdom of the Prophet by Kahlil Gibran. Today, we're exploring the chapter on self-knowledge, a journey inward to discover the deepest truths about ourselves. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion, each layer revealing more of who we are at the core. Now, think about this. How well do you know yourself? Truly, deeply know yourself. N. Gibran suggests that self-knowledge is not just about recognizing our strengths and weaknesses, but it's about understanding the essence of our being. It's about looking into the mirror of our soul and facing the reflection staring back at us. This is no easy feat. It's like staring into a vast, starry sky and trying to count the stars, overwhelming yet profoundly illuminating. N. In today's busy world, We're often so caught up in the hustle and bustle that we rarely take a moment to pause and reflect. Imagine your mind as a bustling city. There are cars honking, people rushing, and towering skyscrapers blocking the view. Self-knowledge asks us to find a quiet park bench amid this chaos and simply be. To sit with our thoughts, to listen to the subtle whispers of our heart. /N Gibran paints a vivid picture, urging us to listen to the whispers of the soul. It's as if he's pointing out that the answers we seek are not out there in the external world but within. He speaks of the heart as a sea, and our thoughts as the tides that ebb and flow with the moon. Have you ever stood on a beach, feeling the sand slip away beneath your feet as the water recedes? That's what it's like to delve into self-knowledge, a beautiful dance of surrender and discovery. /N, he also warns against the danger of superficial self-awareness. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking we know ourselves because we recognize the surface-level aspects of our personalities. But true self-knowledge goes deeper. It's about understanding our motivations, questioning our desires, and confronting the shadows we prefer to ignore. It's about asking ourselves, why do I do what I do? What are the fears that hold me back? What are the dreams that propel me forward? /N, let's bring this idea into the modern world. Consider social media, a realm where we curate and display a carefully constructed image of ourselves. But how often do these digital personas reflect our true selves? It's like wearing a mask at a masquerade ball, enchanting, yet hiding our true face. Gibran urges us to remove these masks in our journey towards self-knowledge, to look beyond the filters and captions, and see the raw, unedited version of ourselves. /N Gibran's wisdom is timeless, and his insights are as relevant today as they were when he first penned them. He speaks of the soul as a temple where the sacred resides. In a world that often prioritizes the material over the spiritual, this notion is a gentle reminder of the importance of nurturing our inner world. It's about building a sanctuary within ourselves, a place of peace where we can retreat to reconnect with our true essence. /N, let's think about the metaphor of a garden. Picture yourself as a gardener, tending to the soil of your soul. Self-knowledge is like planting seeds of awareness, watering them with reflection, and patiently watching them grow into a flourishing garden. There will be weeds to pull, old habits, limiting beliefs, fears, but there will also be flowers in the form of newfound insights and self-acceptance. /N Gibran also touches on the interconnectedness of self-knowledge and the world around us. He suggests that as we come to understand ourselves better, we also grow in our understanding of others. It's like suddenly seeing a thread that links us to the vast tapestry of humanity. We begin to empathize more deeply, to see the shared struggles and joys of the human experience. In this way, self-knowledge is not a selfish pursuit but a bridge to greater compassion and connection. /N, to wrap up our exploration, let's think about how we can incorporate Gibran's wisdom into our daily lives. How can we carve out time for self-reflection amid our hectic schedules? Perhaps it's through journaling, meditation, or simply taking a quiet walk in nature. Whatever form it takes, the key is to make a conscious effort to listen to our inner selves. /N, as we sip the last drop of coffee and close this chapter, remember this. The journey to self-knowledge is a lifelong adventure. It's not about reaching a destination but embracing the process of discovery. It's about continually peeling back those layers and finding joy in the mystery of who we are. So, let's take Gibran's words to heart and embark on this journey with curiosity and courage. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep listening to the whispers of your soul. Imagine sitting in a cozy cafe, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee wrapping around you like a warm blanket. As you sip your drink, we're about to delve into the wisdom of Kahlil Gibran's The Prophet, focusing on the section on teaching. It's a topic that resonates deeply with anyone who has ever been a student, a teacher, or simply a seeker of knowledge. In this beautifully crafted section, Gibran offers us insights that transcend time and culture, inviting us to reimagine education and learning in a way that's as relevant today as it was when it was first penned. Gibran begins by addressing the relationship between teacher and student, painting it not as a hierarchy but as a shared journey. Now, think about this. Have you ever had a teacher who didn't just impart facts but inspired you to think for yourself? That's precisely the role Gibran envisions for teachers. They're not there to pour knowledge into passive vessels, but to awaken what already lies dormant within. He describes teachers as guides who lead students to the threshold of their own understanding. Consider for a moment the phrase threshold of their own minds. It's a powerful metaphor, suggesting that true education is about unlocking doors within ourselves. Picture a teacher standing at the entrance of a vast, unexplored landscape, handing you the key. The path beyond is yours to discover, rich with potential and personal insight. This approach encourages curiosity and self-discovery, qualities that are vital in today's rapidly changing world. In our current education system, we often emphasize standardized testing and rote memorization. But Gibran's vision is a reminder that education should be more about sparking curiosity and less about filling boxes. Imagine a classroom where questions are valued over answers, where exploration is prioritized over conformity. Such an environment fosters creativity and critical thinking, skills that are indispensable in any profession or life path. To illustrate this, let's draw a parallel to a modern tech company. Think of a young programmer entering the tech industry, where innovation is key. A mentor in this setting won't merely teach coding languages. Instead, they'll encourage the programmer to think outside the box, to envision solutions in creative ways. This is akin to Gibran's concept of leading students to the threshold of their own minds, urging them to make intuitive leaps and explore uncharted territories. Gibran also speaks to the power of passion in teaching. He suggests that a teacher's enthusiasm can ignite a similar fire in their students. Have you ever been in a room where someone's passion was so palpable it was contagious? That's the transformative power of a teacher who loves their subject. Their fervor can turn even the most mundane topic into something magical and invigorating. Let's take a moment to reflect. How can we embrace this in our daily lives? Whether you're a teacher, a leader, or a parent, consider how your passion and enthusiasm might inspire those around you. Your excitement can be the spark that lights someone else's journey of discovery, much like a single candle lighting another. Gibran also touches on the idea of humility in teaching. He reminds us that even the brightest teacher is still a student of life. This is a humbling thought, isn't it? It suggests that the pursuit of knowledge is never-ending and that every experience offers a lesson. This perspective fosters a culture of lifelong learning, where everyone, regardless of their role, remains open to growth and change. Think about the modern workplace, where adaptability is crucial. A manager who views themselves as a perpetual learner is not only more approachable, but also more effective. They're better equipped to navigate the complexities of human relationships and the ever-evolving nature of work. This mirrors Gibran's vision of a teacher who is always learning, constantly evolving alongside their students. As we wrap up this exploration, let's bring it back to the cafe setting, where we started our conversation. Picture the gentle hum of conversation around us, the clinking of cups, a reminder that learning doesn't happen in isolation. It's a communal experience, enriched by diverse perspectives and shared stories. Gibran's insights on teaching encourage us to view education as a shared journey, one that unfolds in the classroom and beyond, in every interaction and experience we encounter. In today's world, where information is abundant and easily accessible, Gibran's timeless message challenges us to look beyond the superficial and seek deeper understanding. It's an invitation to think critically, to question, and to embrace the unknown with an open heart and mind. So, as you finish your coffee and step back into the world, carry this wisdom with you. Whether you're guiding others or being guided, remember that true teaching is about awakening possibilities and nurturing the boundless potential within ourselves and those around us. Jason. Narration: Welcome, dear listeners, as we sit down with our cups of coffee to delve into the timeless wisdom of Kahlil Gibran's The Prophet. Today, we're exploring the section on friendship, a topic that resonates deeply with every human heart, no matter the era or culture. In this passage, Gibran unveils the profound layers of friendship, inviting us to contemplate its true essence beyond the surface-level connections we often settle for. /n/n imagine friendship as a vast, nurturing garden. Gibran describes it not merely as a space for companionship and shared laughter, though those are certainly parts of it, but as a sanctuary for mutual growth and soul-deep connections. He urges us to consider friendship as a bond where, despite the closeness, there's an essential space that allows both individuals the freedom to grow. It's like planting two trees side by side. They share the same soil and sunshine, but each needs its own room to reach for the sky. /n/n now, think about this. In our modern world where social media can sometimes blur the lines between genuine friendships and mere acquaintance, how often do we stop to reflect on the depth of our relationships? Are they like the two trees Gibran describes, or are they more like vines, tangled and dependent, struggling to find their own light? Gibran invites us to cherish the silence in friendship, the comfort in being able to sit together without the need for constant chatter. This silence isn't emptiness. It's a shared understanding that speaks volumes. /n/n, he beautifully illustrates that a friend is not someone who fills our needs or solves our problems, but a companion who supports our journey, who walks beside us through both joyous and challenging times. Gibran's emphasis is on the idea that true friendship enhances our solitude, making it richer rather than eroding it. This mirrors modern psychological insights suggesting that healthy relationships bolster our sense of self, rather than diminishing it. /n/n let's paint a picture here. Imagine you're on a hiking trail. You and your friend are climbing a steep hill. Their presence doesn't make the hill disappear or the climb easier in the physical sense. But their quiet encouragement, their simple act of being there, turns what could have been a solitary struggle into a shared adventure. That's the essence of what Gibran is reaching for, the transformative power of just being there. /n/n Gibran also touches on the element of reciprocity in friendship, likening it to a dance where both partners need to be in harmony. This is not about keeping score, but about a natural ebb and flow of giving and receiving. Think of it as a conversation, where sometimes you speak, and sometimes you listen, always with genuine interest and empathy. /n/n in modern terms, we can see this as the emotional bank account idea popularized by relationship experts. Every positive interaction, every act of kindness or understanding is a deposit. Disagreements or misunderstandings are withdrawals. The key is to ensure that the account stays balanced and healthy, filled with more deposits than withdrawals. /n/n Gibran further advises that the qualities that make a true friend are honesty and the ability to reveal one's true self. This honesty is not just about truth-telling, but about being authentic, letting down our guard, and allowing a friend to see who we truly are, even the parts we might not show to the world at large. /n/n in today's world, where personas can be carefully curated, whether online or offline, this call for authenticity is more relevant than ever. A true friend is someone with whom you can be your unedited self, who accepts you in your finest moments and your not-so-shiny ones. It's about embracing vulnerability, knowing that your friend is a safe space. /n/n Gibran's insights on friendship remind us of the value of being present, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. It's about creating shared memories and experiences that form the bonds of friendship over a lifetime. Imagine friendship as a quilt, each square representing a different memory or shared experience. Over time, this quilt becomes a warm, comforting tapestry of stories and adventures, a testament to the journey you've shared. /n/n as we close this discussion on friendship from Gibran's The Prophet. Let's carry forward his message to nurture these bonds with care and intention. Whether it's reaching out to an old friend or deepening connections with those we see regularly, let's strive to embody the essence of true friendship, as Gibran describes. It's about being the quiet presence in someone's life, the encouraging voice, and the unwavering support. And so, as you sip your coffee and ponder over these thoughts, consider the friends in your life. How can you be the friend Gibran speaks of, and how can these insights enrich your relationships? Remember, true friendship is a gift, one that, with attention and love, can grow as beautifully as any garden Gibran could envision. Until next time, keep nurturing those soulful connections and let the wisdom of the Prophet guide you on your journey. Jason. Narration. Imagine standing on a shore, the gentle waves lapping at your feet, as you prepare to leave a place that has been both a home and a crucible of your soul. This is the scene set in the farewell from Kahlil Gibran's timeless work, The Prophet. In this poignant moment, Al-Mustafa, the Prophet, is about to embark on the next phase of his journey. His final words to the people of Orphalese are not just a goodbye but a heartfelt invitation to reflect on the profound lessons they've shared. Now, think about this. How often do we truly say goodbye? Not just to people, but to phases of our life, to ideas, or even to our past selves. Al-Mustafa's farewell is a masterclass in letting go with grace and embracing the unknown with courage. N. As Al-Mustafa boards the ship that will carry him back to the isle of his birth, he acknowledges the bittersweet nature of parting. He speaks of how every departure carries the essence of a new beginning. It's a sentiment many of us can relate to. Have you ever noticed how saying goodbye can feel like 1,000 doors closing, but if we listen closely, we can hear new doors creaking open? Al-Mustafa embodies this perfectly. He tells the people that while they may not see him in the flesh again, the teachings and love shared between them will linger, like an echo that reverberates long after the sound has faded. And he reassures them that true connections exist beyond the boundaries of space and time. In modern terms, imagine the bonds we create over the internet, with friends we've never met in person, yet feel intrinsically linked to. These connections, much like Al-Mustafa's with the people of Orphalese, defy distance. He reminds us that physical absence doesn't equate to spiritual or emotional distance. How often do we think about the invisible threads that tie us to others, even when they're not in our daily lives? Al-Mustafa's words are a gentle nudge to cherish these threads, as they weave the tapestry of our existence. N. Throughout his addresses, Al-Mustafa has been a beacon of wisdom on various aspects of life: love, marriage, work, freedom, and more. In his farewell, he encapsulates these teachings into a final, profound thought. Life is a river flowing towards the sea of our greater destiny. He urges the people to live with purpose and understanding. Just as a river navigates twists and turns, so too must we navigate life's challenges and triumphs, always moving forward, always learning. Picture a river carving through a landscape, ever persistent, ever changing. This is how Al-Mustafa views life, a journey where the destination isn't as crucial as the lessons learned along the way. N. He then shares a metaphor that is as timeless as it is powerful, the metaphor of the tree and its roots. Al-Mustafa points out that just as a tree is nourished by unseen roots, so too are our lives sustained by unseen forces. Think about the roots in your life. What are they? Perhaps it's your family, your beliefs, your experiences, all quietly supporting and shaping you. These roots, though hidden, are vital. Without them, the tree would wither. He encourages us to acknowledge and nurture these roots, for they anchor us during life's storms. N. Al-Mustafa's farewell is imbued with an acceptance of the cyclical nature of existence. He speaks of life as a series of seasons. Just as nature embraces the ebb and flow of seasons, we too should embrace the cyclical patterns in our lives. Consider how each season serves a purpose. Spring for new beginnings, summer for growth, autumn for reflection, and winter for rest. Are there cycles in your life that you resist? Al-Mustafa's wisdom suggests that understanding and embracing these cycles can lead to a more harmonious existence. /N/N, as he prepares to leave, Al-Mustafa tells the people to remember him not with sadness but with joy for the time they shared. Isn't that a powerful way to frame our farewells? To honor what was while eagerly anticipating what will be. In our fast-paced, ever-changing world, it's easy to get caught up in the mournfulness of parting. Yet, Al-Mustafa's perspective reminds us to celebrate the beauty of having experienced something worth missing. /N/N in his final moments with the people of Orphalese, Al-Mustafa leaves them with a vision of hope. He urges them to look beyond the immediate, to see the bigger picture, the continuation of their own life journeys. Just as he will continue his, they too must continue to seek, grow, and thrive. Isn't that what we all strive for? To find meaning, to make a difference, and to leave a legacy of love and wisdom. And so, as the ship sails away, carrying Al-Mustafa to his next chapter, we are left with his final blessing, a gentle reminder that life is a journey best shared with an open heart and a willing spirit. Like Al-Mustafa, we are all travelers on the sea of life, bound by the currents of time and experience. His farewell is a universal call to embrace our own voyages with anticipation and courage. As we sip our coffee and reflect, let's take a moment to appreciate the farewells in our own lives, not as endings, but as vital parts of our ongoing story. Kahlil Gibran's The Prophet is a timeless exploration of the human condition, beautifully weaving through themes of love, work, joy, sorrow, freedom, and more. Through eloquent prose, Gibran encapsulates profound wisdom in simple truths, reminding us of the interconnectedness of all aspects of life. As Al-Mustafa, the prophet, prepares to leave the city of Orphalese, he imparts life lessons that remain relevant across generations. Here are some key takeaways. 1. Embrace the duality of life. Gibran teaches us that joy and sorrow are inseparable, much like two sides of the same coin. Practically, this means acknowledging and accepting both the highs and lows in life, rather than resisting or clinging to one over the other. Start incredibly small by simply observing your emotions without judgment. 2. Work with love *. According to Gibran, work is love made visible. To apply this, approach your daily tasks with mindfulness, focusing on how your efforts contribute to the greater good. Be patient with yourself as you cultivate this perspective, and watch how it transforms mundane tasks into meaningful contributions. 3. Live in the present *. Al-Mustafa emphasizes living in the moment and finding beauty in each day. Begin by setting aside a few minutes each day to practice mindfulness, whether through meditation or simply savoring your morning coffee. This practice can build resilience and peace over time. 4. Freedom through acceptance *. True freedom, Gibran suggests, comes from accepting life's impermanence and our own limitations. Apply this by letting go of the need to control everything. Start small by identifying one area where you can relinquish control and embrace the freedom it brings. 5. Cultivate relationships with care. The book underscores the importance of nurturing relationships with love and respect. To incorporate this, make it a point to listen actively and engage sincerely with the people around you. Remember, building meaningful connections often begins with small, consistent gestures. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below with at least one idea from this book that stuck with you, one concept you're going to carry forward. It could be something that challenged your thinking, something you want to try, or even something you disagreed with. Your insight might be exactly what another listener needs to hear today. And if this summary gave you something valuable, a new perspective, a spark of motivation, or even just a peaceful hour with your coffee, share it with someone who might need it too. Subscribe to One Book, One Coffee and hit that bell icon so you never miss a new summary. Every week, we sit down together with one great book, one warm cup of coffee, and the simple belief that wisdom, shared well, can change lives. Until next time, keep reading, keep growing, and remember, every small step counts. See you at the next book.